Hey guys, Profe here. We are going to review for your Spanish 2 Chapter 1 test right now. And this video is going to be a little rough, so bear with me, but we're just going to go over each point. There's 17 grammar points that you have to know. Don't be scared by that because most of it you should have already learned in Spanish 1, so I just hope you did that, but a Spanish 2 Chapter 1 test. So, let's begin. Let's see, the first thing that I want you to know is the verb ser. And ser is a verb that you should have learned in Spanish 1. If you didn't learn it, I don't know how you made it to Spanish 2. But soy means I am, eres means you are, es means he, she, it, or whatever isn't you or me, is. Somos means we are, son means y'all are, and son also means they are. And you need to know this verb because you're going to be answering the question, ¿Cómo es? Or ¿Cómo eres? And basically, what this does is these two questions are, how is it or how are you? And it's not how are you in the sense of how you are like I'm fine, thanks. It's how are you, in other words, how are you like? Describe yourself. So one thing that you'll need to know for the test, and I would study this a lot, are descriptions. Descriptions. I am not letting you use dictionaries on the test. So you will need to know lots of descriptive words to describe yourself, to describe your family, to describe your neighborhood. That is very, very important for the test. And of course, you'll be using this verb to answer that question. So, for example, if I asked you, how are you? You're going to say soy, and then you use a descriptive word like soy alto, soy inteligente, soy guapo, soy whatever you want to say. Or if I ask you, ¿Cómo es tu familia? You would answer, mi familia es grande, mi familia es amable. You'd be using this form of the verb ser. So you really, really need to study this verb. That actually covers quite a few of our grammar points that we are going to go over. Another thing that you'll need to know are your preferences. You'll need to know your preferences, like using the verb gustar. And basically, remember that the formula for gustar is, for example, me gusta el cine, which means I like the movies. Now, in Spanish, remember gustar, you don't like something, something pleases you. So basically what I'm saying here isn't I like the movies, I'm saying the movies are pleasing to me. So if this is singular, you are going to use gusta. If this is plural, like, for example, me gustan las películas, this is plural too. So this is plural, this is plural, this is singular, this is singular. That's very, very important to know. And you can also say prefiero if you're describing preferences, like if you like something over something else. So these are to describe your preferences, which is another way to describe how you are. If you run out of words like I'm tall, I'm short, you can say something that you like I like ice cream, or I like Spanish class, whatever you want to say. Some other stuff that you need to know. You need to know masculine and feminine words. You just need to know that some words are masculine; those start with la, and feminine words start with la, masculine words start with el, or las and los if they're plural. You need to know that. That's really easy. You should have learned that in Spanish 1 as well. You need to know your Spanish endings in the present tense. So your AR verbs are o, as, a, amos, an. ER verbs are o, es, e, hemos, en, and IR verbs are o, es, e, hemos, en. So if I gave you an example of a Spanish AR verb, for example, hablar, and I told you to say, for example, el perro, then I'll leave a blank, give you the verb, hablar, you will need to know how to conjugate that verb. So el perro, there's 3 questions you can ask. You can ask, well, 4 actually. Is it me? Is it you? Or something else? And then you need to ask, is it singular or plural? So let's go through these questions with el perro. Is it me? No, so you know it's not this first line. Is it you? No, so you know it's not the second line. Is it someone? Is it something else? Yes, it's a dog, it's something else. So you know it's going to be this last line, which is the third person, and then you go over, this side is singular, this side is plural. Is the dog singular or plural? It's singular, so you use that ending. El perro habla. So that's easy. An example of ER verbs that you might need to know is comer. IR verbs is vivir, and you notice that they're called those because they end in IR, ER, or hablar, AR. So that goes over that. The next thing that you'll need to know is stem changers. Remember that you have O to UE stem changers. You have E to IE stem changers. You have, let's see, E to I stem changers. And the last one that you have are U to UE. And basically stem changer means, for example, let's use this. We'll use the verb poder. The stem of the verb is anything that's not the ending, so we know it's an ER verb because of the ending, and this right here is called the stem. When the stem changes, it means that the vowel in the stem is going to change when you conjugate the verb. And the stem changes in the first person, second person, third person singular, the second person plural, and the third person plural. But here, in the nosotros form, the first person plural, it does not change. So, you have poder, we're going to change that from an O to UE. It's, for example, puedo, which means I can. Now, if you're using the nosotros form, it doesn't change. It would be podemos. So, you have O to UEs, you have E to IEs, like querer, which means to want. You can say quiero. You have E to I, like pedir, which means to ask for. You would say pido. And you have U to UE, which is, for example, jugar. And conjugated is juego. So those are the 4 stem changers that you need to know. You just have to memorize them. I would memorize just common verbs that you use. I will let you know if it's a stem changer or not, if it's a weird verb, but you need to memorize these ones specifically. Querer, pedir, jugar, poder, and I'll try and give you a hint on the test if it's a stem changer or not. So you do need to know that as well. You need to know the verb tener, which means to have, and its conjugation is tengo. It's a stem changer, so tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen, and again, tienen. So you need to know that. and you need to know it